अनन्तं विभुं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं शिवं सङ्गहीनं यदोङ्कारगम्यं निराकारमत्युज्ज्वलं मृत्युहीनं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि। स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः। यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। हरि ओम। Now we are entering we have already entered some intricate concepts. So yesterday we have given a full summary of how right from the beginning how Bhagavad Gita is taking us step by step. We came up to Shloka 49. Now you have to be attentive, and I have to go back and forth to do justice to that. So you have to be attentive to follow. One thing you should not forget, that in the shloka, 45th shloka, he says, Sve sve karmanyabhirataha samsiddhim labhate naraha. That means the samyak siddhi, that means the ultimate perfection, people, the seekers, can get by remaining in their own svabhava karma. Svesve karmani means, before that he has explained that whatever is natural to their qualities according to their gunatraya, doing that itself they can attain perfection. That is, they don't have to leave all activities and do only meditation, and that will not help, he has told earlier also. Remaining in the activity, changing the attitude, changing the mindset, they will attain the ultimate siddhi, ultimate perfection. Swakarma nirata siddhim yatha bindati tatshanu. This remaining in one's swakarma, remaining engaged in one's natural karma, svabhava karma, swakarma or swadharma, how the perfection is attained, I am going to tell you. That was there. Then the main shloka here we have to understand is Yata pravrittir, the next one. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyartya siddhim vindati manavaha. That means the truth, the Atma, Brahman, consciousness, whatever you say, from which the whole nature has originated and which is pervading the whole nature. It cannot be missed anywhere in the objectitude also. Subjectitude, objectitude, nowhere it can be missed. You have to worship that truth with your own karma. Now, Archana is coming. That is, you have to worship that truth with your own karma. The moment Archana is coming, you should understand that there is a Bhakti element he is putting in. And what is the ultimate meaning of Bhakti? Is it going to the temple or having a shrine at home? What is Bhakti really? Surrender. That means, whatever I am doing, I am not doing because of some personal gain or ego satisfaction, that I am doing this, I am going to do this, this is my duty. Nothing. People say duty, duty, duty. Bhagavad Gita doesn't speak about duty. That is, when whatever we do, whatever comes to be done and has to be done for the welfare of the society or for anything, as the work comes, if we don't do because of some personal gain, some desire or ego, then it becomes an offering. That here earlier also says that yajñarthat karmano vanyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. In 3rd chapter, that when the work becomes yajna, when we are not doing out of sangha or phalabhoga, that is for becoming happy or the personal gain, or because of ego related association. When it is done without ego and without phalakamana, it becomes an offering it becomes a yajna, the real yajna. So when we work naturally out of our own qualities and whatever is required by the society around, in the nature, whatever the need is, according to that, naturally when we act, not carried away by the desire and ego, then it becomes an offering. That is the archana. That is the yajna. So it is actually becoming a contribution to the universal yajna of the universal Lord. The whole creation is a yajna going on. There is no desire anywhere. Desire is a problem for us only. Everything is naturally doing its own. Even the destruction is a natural process. So many destructions are taking place parallelly. Creation, destruction, janma, mrityu, everything is going on. There is no shubha, ashubha, no good, bad, anything. All the things are there. Good is there, bad is parallelly there. Everything is hosted by the truth. So after saying here, he is saying siddhim vindati manavaha. That means swakarmana tam abhyarcha. If we do as an offering to the Lord, whatever we are doing without ego, without desire, then we attain perfection. Perfection, just now they said that sakarmana, how we attain perfection by doing our own, being engaged in our own work. And also in the next verse he says, svabhava niyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilvisham. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat. Svabhava niyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilvisham. He said that there will be some trouble in anything you do, there will be some good bad element in that. But if it is your natural work, not guided by desire or ego, then that is the best. Don't try to follow others' karma. That is whatever is natural to others. We took the example of military, police, spy. They have always something they will not like to do, but they have to do. And if they are taking to that, they have to. Svabhavaniyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilvisham. Particularly in this case, when Arjuna fights and his grandfather and teacher happen to be on the other side, by killing them also he will not have any sin. Because Arjuna is supposed to fight the war. That is his svabhavaniyatam karma. Now, in the 49th verse, he says, asakta buddhis sarvatra
asakta buddhis sarvatra
jitatma vigataspriha
jitatma vigataspriha
Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam
Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam
Sanyasena Dhigacchati.
Sanyasena Dhigacchati.
Here I went back to 5th chapter, 6th chapter to see the definition of sannyasa, etc. That work cannot be completely eliminated. And sannyasa means na niragnir na chakriya. A person who is not doing any religious karma or other secular karma, he is not a sannyasin. By that you cannot say he is a sannyasin because he is not active. He is not doing any secular work, neither any religious rituals. But who is a sannyasin? Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha. Who is not taking refuge in the result, that it is a personal gain. Whatever is the result, objective result will always be there. We don't have to bother about it. But that, from that I will have some personal gain, and with that I will become happy. If he is not linked to that I will become happy and this is what I want to do, then karyam karma, whatever work comes he does, then he is a sannyasi. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. Such a powerful statement here made there. Na niragnir na chakriya. So in Bhagavad Gita, always he is emphasizing on internal attainment. The external sannyasa he is generally not speaking about. In some cases he has spoken, it is in a different way. And similarly, that Naishkarmya Siddhi, generally it is taken in the form that he will not do any activity at all, the ultimate leaving all activity. That meaning is there for Naishkarmya Siddhi. But here that is not so. It is an internal attainment. Now, here this Naishkarmya Siddhi, when we are going to the Samadhi, there we are coming to know the Nishkriya Brahma Visa or Nishkriya Atma, that there is no activity at all, because there is no two. It is beyond all duality. There is no question of any activity there. So he comes to know the non-changing, non-active Atma, the consciousness. He comes, that is the Atma Sakshatkara. The first what we do by meditating is this, that there is no activity at all, no change at all. How does he get? Sannyasena adhigacchati, by renouncing all the results that they have said, anashrita karma phalam, that he doesn't want anything from anywhere, anytime. Like that, when he renounces, then what happens? His bhogecha is renounced at that time. We have been discussing it repeatedly, that I want to enjoy something from the world. So always our mind is looking for something to have enjoyment. Even in meditation also, if we get a touch of bliss, I want to have that bliss. That is also looking for something. When all these are renounced, then automatically he will be in the non-active Atma or self, Atma Sakshatkara he will have. Now that is not the end. That is only a state, only an attainment which he is having by the karmaja siddhi. That means by offering his karma to the Lord, he is getting freed from desire and ego, and he is able to get into that. After that, he says that siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasena iva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya yapara. After that siddhi, that perfection, whatever he got, then how he is attaining the Brahman, I will tell you in brief. This is what it is. Now, go to 5th chapter, beginning 5.1, 5.21. Beginning now, 5.21. Bahyasparsheshvasaktatma
Bahyasparsheshvasaktatma
Vindatyatmani yat sukham
Vindatyatmani yat sukham
Sabrahma yoga yuktatma
Sabrahma yoga yuktatma
Sukham akshayam ashnute.
Sukham akshayam ashnute.
See, this verse you should keep in mind. You can mark it also. It's a very important verse because he says, Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham. When we can take away our sakti, our clinging to the sensory sukha. Bahya sparsha means the indriyas are coming in contact with the objects, outward situation. And that gives us the usual sukha, the happiness we get. Now, if you are not clinging to that sensory happiness, bahya sparsheshu asakta atma, this is essential for getting into samadhi, getting into the stillness of the soul. the impersonal stillness of the soul. Vindati atmani yat sukham. Atmani means in the Atma, whatever sukha he gets. That is, when he is in samadhi, he does not have any contact with the outward world, nothing. Then he gets flooded with the happiness. Because the happiness is the property, it's a natural coordinate of the soul. Not knowing that we run after the other things. When we get the desired object, so for some time the desire is eliminated. Immediately the sukha which is not naturally flowing out of the soul, natural parameter of the soul, that we start feeling. And we feel that the sukha we are getting from the outer object. In our Shastra there is a beautiful example. They say a dog, you give a dry bone, it will go on biting. That bone has nothing, it's a hard piece of bone. But more he bites, he gets blood from it. Actually the blood is coming from his own gum. As the dog is biting, the gum is coming from there. But the dog thinks that it is coming from the bone. So it goes on biting hard, still more, and more blood comes, so he relishes it. Our Shastras compare it to our Vishaya Sukha, that is object. Actually the Sukha is coming from, it is our soul property, our natural heritage. But we think that the Sukha is coming from the object we are biting. And so we bite more, और भी पैसा चाहिए, और भी बिल्डिंग चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. वो चाहते चाहते कब जो सुखा दुख बन गए, वो हम लोग by asking for more and more, sometimes the sukha gets transformed into dukkha. It becomes a stress, it becomes a torture for us. That we are not conscious of. So, when we are in the Atma, Atmani, Vindati Atmani Yat Sukham, when we are in the Atma Sthiti or in the Samadhi, we get flooded with joy which is a natural property of the soul. So the sukha he gets, sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam asnute. This is atmani. Mark the words, you have to know a little Sanskrit here. Vindati atmani yat sukham. When he is in samadhi, he is resting in the atma, that is inside. There he is getting the joy. The same joy becomes never ending and everywhere. Sab Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. When he connects himself to the Brahman, which is the substratum of the whole universe, on which the whole universe is attaining, is appearing to be. So when he understands and gets merged into the Brahman, then Sukham Akshayam Asnute. It becomes Akshaya Sukha, means that Sukha never ends. Here what happens, the moment he comes out of the Samadhi, that Sukha is gone. So he may again want it and again try to go, but it may not happen also. Always it may not happen. When we are desiring it, it will not happen. But it is a kshana sukha. It's a momentary sukha. That state only is sukha. That sukha becomes a permanent, never-ending sukha. Akshayam sukha, akshaya sukha. When he becomes a Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. This verse is very important because the first line is referring to Atma Sthiti. And the second line is referring to Brahma Sthiti. So in understanding all the later ones, it becomes a guideline. That one is Atma Sthiti, one is Brahma Sthiti. Now the purpose of Bhagavad Gita and all is to take us to Brahma Sthiti, not in Atma Sthiti. So, now he is saying that Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma. This Atma Sthiti he has discussed in the 49th verse. Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena Adhigacchati. Now, after getting this, how he goes over to the ultimate Jnana Nishtha. Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma Tatha Apnoti Nibodhame. siddhim praptaha yatha brahma apnoti tatha nibodhame. After getting this siddhi, how he attains to Brahman, that I am going to tell you. Samasenaiva, in brief, in essence, I am going to tell you. That is called the Nishtha Jnanasya Yapara. That is the supreme Nishtha to knowledge. That is the Jnana Nishtha. So, if you have been careful, you will understand that there was initially, it was Karma Yoga, that we were always offering all our work to the Yata Pravritti Bhutanam, to the truth, to the Lord. Offering means by renouncing our ego and desires. By doing that, when we are attaining this Nishchala, the still Atma, we are able to get the Atma Sakshatkara. Thereafter, to get the Jnana Nishtha, so we become fit for the Jnana Nishtha. Earlier, why Arjuna was asked to do the Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga? Because he was not fit for Jnana Nishtha. Repeatedly he is saying, Arjuna is again and again asking, if this is the knowledge, why are you asking me to fight the war? He is saying, no, it is not for you. It is for those who have renounced everything. For them it is okay, but you are a Kshatriya, you are always 13 years you have contemplated on work. So I will take you to the same level of Brahma, the attainment of Brahman, but through your work. So that is the Karmaja Siddhi. Through his work, what is happening? When he is attaining this perfection, Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena Digacchati, then he becomes fit for the Jnana Nishtha. The same path, it is becoming, that is why he said it is not two different paths. It is a twofold path taking us to the same goal. The ultimate is knowledge. But he became fit for the complete dedication, the exclusive dedication to knowledge by pursuing the karma, and by that purifying his mind, buddhi, everything, by renouncing the ego and desires. Is it clear or not? So he now becomes fit for pursuing the Jnana Nishtha. So this Siddhim, whenever it is coming, you have to relate it to the corresponding. Here again Siddhim he is saying, so you have to relate to the verse 46 and 49. Both places he has mentioned about the Siddhi. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma.
Siddhim prapto yatha brahma.
When you are studying at this 49th verse, you should make a note that see 5.21 for Atmanishta and Atmasthiti and Brahmasthiti. Then you will be able to relate. Otherwise, you will forget. Later on when you read it, nothing will come to your mind. So some note should be there for referring to that. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma.
Siddhim prapto yatha brahma.
Tathapnoti nibodhame.
Tathapnoti nibodhame.
Samasenaiva kaunteya.
Samasenaiva kaunteya.
Nishtha jnanasya yapara.
Nishtha jnanasya yapara.
Nishtha word means the ultimate. That is ultimate, the parakashta. Nishtha means complete dedication to that, the ultimate dedication to knowledge. Now, the 51, 52, 53, these three verses should be read together, because what is this Jnana Nishtha he is saying? See, reading this, you will understand that although he has got the Atma Sakshatkara, that is, he has known the stillness of the Atma Sakshatkara, that is, non-acting Atma, he has already experienced in Samadhi. And by sannyasa. Sannyasa means renouncing the phalatyaga and all that. But still, the sadhana continues in its full measure to go to that exclusive Jnana Nishtha. What is the sadhana? He is now discussing in these three verses. We will read together and then one word by word I will explain. Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto.
बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तो
धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च
धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च
शब्दादीन् विषयांस् त्यक्त्वा
शब्दादीन् विषयांस् त्यक्त्वा
रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च
रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च
विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी
विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी
यतवाक्कायमानसः
यतवाक्कायमानसः
ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं
ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं
वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः
वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः
अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं
अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं
कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं
कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं
विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो
विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो
ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते
ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते
ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते. That means he becomes fit to become Brahman. Brahmabhuyaya kalpate. That is Brahmavit Brahmaiva bhavati. One who knows Brahman finally realizes Brahman, he becomes Brahman. So he says Brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Kalpate means he becomes fit to realize the Brahman or become Brahman. So for that, when all these words we have to understand the whole practice. Now here is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita will not be vague about anything. Right from the beginning, you see in second chapter, when Krishna presented the Sankhya Yoga, immediately Arjuna asked that Sthita prajyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita brajeta kim. That means, how do you define a Sthita prajna? Who has, one is first is samadhistasya Sthita prajyasya ka bhasha. Bhasha means definition. How do you define a Sthita prajna whose consciousness is still, who is in samadhi? Because he will not know whether he is sleeping or he is in samadhi or whether he is thinking all these things. Nothing will be known from outside. So he wanted the definition of the internal state of a person, of the seeker when he is in samadhi. Second line he says, Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita brajeta kim. When he gets up from the samadhi, he is interactive person. So how does he speak? How does he sit? How does he move around? This is a figurative expression. That means how does he interact? That means will there be a change in his interaction in the life so that we can make out that what are the insignia of a Sthita Prajna or Sthitadhi. So it becomes very specific there, and then he discusses all the qualities he will have. It is called Sthita Prajna Darshana, the second chapter, end part of it, which ends with the Apuryamana Machala Pratishtham and all. Not only that, when he is saying that these are the lakshanas of a Sthita Prajna, these are the signs, insignia of a Sthita Prajna. For a seeker, those becomes the pursuit, practice. That is, whatever the knower, the way the knower behaves, we will not know the knower's inner mind, but we can follow whatever the way he is behaving, the way he is interacting. We have to understand, we have to analyze, when we have to appreciate where lies the poise, where lies the unaffectedness, where lies the universality, universal love, or where lies the non-selfishness, where lies the desirelessness. All these we have to analyze from his behavior. I have given earlier enough examples for that also, that how we make mistake in analyzing the behavior also. So that was it, that nobody can say that, well, I have known and I have known Brahman and I am a knower. You can make out from his behavior. Not that fully you will know, but certainly some behavioral traits have to be there from which you can analyze. At least it is not for others to know, actually. They talk about the lakshanas, the signs, so that we can analyze ourselves. It is not for analyzing others or knowing whether the other person is a sthita prajna or not. It is to know ourselves that have I approached, how much I have approached, do I have this quality, do I not have this quality. It is all meant for our own analysis, our own inspection. Similarly, in the Bhakti Yoga, normally Bhakti Yoga means we talk about God there. God is this, God is that. Bhagavad Gita is not like that. The whole Bhakti is inverted on the devotee. That is, Bhakti means you have some 24 qualities. If you have this, then you are the greatest Bhakta. Otherwise, you are not. So, whether you are worshipping God, whether you are going to the temple, or whether you are doing this, that, how much of prasada you are giving, offering to the Lord, nothing. It is all to do with your character. What are the Bhakti Lakshanas? So, similarly, in the Jnana, 13th chapter, he discussed Jnana and then said 20 qualities, assembly of 20 qualities, etad jnanam iti proktam, ajnanam yadatonyatha. That is, whether you have known Atma or Brahman or it is not accepted. If you have these 20 qualities, then only etad jnanam iti proktam. This is called jnana, ajnanam yadatonyatha. Anything else is ajnana. So it should come as, it should be apparent from the behavior, it should be translated in the behavior. Not to analyze others, again to analyze yourself, that how much my knowledge has become maturated. Always we can, wherever it is going off, we have to analyze and we have to understand how much still I have to go, or where I am failing, what is happening. Similarly, gunatita lakshana, again assembly of quite a few, enumeration of a number of qualities, which says who is a gunatita. So here again, nishtha jnanasya yapara, like that every chapter you will find like that. Not every chapter, but it is intermittently coming again and again. Wherever there is a chance of misunderstanding our position, they are cautioning us that it should be translated in the behavior. Because Bhagavad Gita fundamentally presents the basic philosophy or basic purpose is not to run away from life and know the divine in your samadhi or in the cave or in the forest. No. It is to make the life divinized. You may go to the samadhi, you may practice it as a part of the pursuit. But coming back to the world, you cannot be the same worldly person. It has to undergo a change. Only when the whole interaction life undergoes a change, then only you will be considered a proper knower or devotee or whatever. So whether it is devotion, whether it is knowledge, whether it is karma yoga, everywhere that there are a number of qualities have been enumerated, and that will tell us how far I have gone out. It's to analyze our own self, not for others. So here he is saying that what is the Jnana Nishtha? That is, if you claim that I am completely devoted to exclusive knowledge, you check whether these are true of me or not. That is, whoever is saying, he should check his own mind that whether I am following this or not. I cannot say that I am fully dedicated to knowledge without having these. Bhaktya, buddhya vishuddhaya yukto. First is the vishuddha buddhi. The intelligence has to be purified. Now, what is the meaning of purified intelligence? I have explained over all these days. What is that? When the intelligence is not clinging to the fragmented appearance of the worldly objects and running after likes and dislikes, haunted by raga, dvesha, etc. So the intelligence is able to see the unity in the diversity. That we will, in our interaction life, diversity will be there, but behind that we will know that it is all appearing in the consciousness, in the Atma alone. Nobody is different than that. So, buddhya vishuddhaya yukto. That is, not only that, I also said that buddhi should not look for the truth as an object. That is also vishuddha buddhi. You get it? That normally we are looking for the Atma or self also as if it is different from me. In meditation also we are trying to know the self as if it is different from me. That is also ashuddha buddhi. Why it is happening? Because always we are wanting something from the world to make us happy. That is tendency to have a second different from me, so that we can enjoy that second. That is the impurity of the buddhi. When the buddhi stops looking at for the second, wanting the second, or wanting anything from the world, that is the pure buddhi. See how you have to analyze. Otherwise, when you read buddhya vishuddhaya yukta yukta, the buddhi should be purified. What will you understand from there? In sadhana, unless you analyze each word, there is no sadhana. You will think you can lecture also or write an article also when the buddhi becomes pure. But what will happen to you by that? These are the elements which we have to focus on. That what is this Shuddha Buddhi? How will it behave all the time? Dhrityatmanam niyamyacha. Dhriti ke dwara, that is by the dhriti. Dhriti means by which we hold on to. The persistence, the resolve. The resolve should be applied to our whole being. Atmanam here is not the Atma. It is my own body-mind personality. Our own personality, not holding on to anything else. But disciplining the whole being about everything. That means I told you about the whole sequence to be reversed, that we are generally slave to the objects and objective situation. That whole sequence has to be changed, and we have to be guided by the master of the chariot, the soul. And from there we will operate. That is the niyamya, means that. It is not an external control from outside. It's a guidance from inside, that we will always be working, following the guidance of the Atma, the inmost self. Not by the attraction and repulsion of the world. Shabdadin vishayam tyaktva ragadveshau vidasyacha. That means renounce Shabdadin Vishayan. That means they have said only sound. Sound means all the five. Sound, touch, everything. As long as the mind is running after those things, the mind will not become, buddhi will not become Shuddha. You may hear the sound. It is not saying that you will not see, you will not hear. So you should become blind, you should become deaf. It's not that. Everything you will be interacting with. But your attention, your focus will not be on getting joy from all these things. It is basically to deal with the bhogecha, the tendency to enjoy. They will be much, when we become desireless, our indriyas will be much sharper than what it is. Because there won't be any kalmasha. Many things will be known. But at the same time, he will not look for any enjoyment from the Vishaya. That is the main thing. Bhogecha will not be there. Shabdadin Vishayam Tektva means that it is not to close you up. You can remove the vision, you can remove the sound, but how will you remove the touch and all that? And the mind will constantly still, even if you close the whole doors and all, the mind will look for Vishayas. So it means that our tendency to enjoy the Vishaya should be controlled, should be disciplined. Ragadveshau Vidasyacha. That means renouncing the ragadvesha. This we have discussed quite a few times, that clinging to what we like and hating or intolerant about what we dislike. Naturally, those are the items which are taking away our mind. It is not the world which makes us disturbed. This you should always remember. World doesn't disturb us. It is our ragadvesha towards the world objects that disturbs our mind. That is, our mind is clinging to certain things, our mind is hateful or intolerant about certain things. When the ragadvesha, this is a great discovery of Bhagavad Gita, the presentation of Bhagavad Gita. We don't have to do anything with the world. We have to only renounce the ragadvesha, that's all. This is the renunciation. Now, next is, you can count how many are there, but I have not counted, so I have not written. Vivikta Sevi. Vivikta Sevi means one who remains secluded, not in Aratir Jana Samsadi is there in the 13th chapter. Aratir Jana Samsadi. That means not indulging in or reveling in the always gossiping with people, merrymaking and all. that should normally go. Naturally, because people will not be following this. So, Vivikta Sevi also means there should be an inner seclusion, an inner isolation. That you may go everywhere, but you won't feel connected to all those things because the attraction, repulsion have gone. Lagvashi, Laghu Ashi, that means you should be very controlled about your food. That will automatically happen because mostly we are eating because of greed and taste. Now, if we can keep away the greed and preference, prejudice towards taste, you will find a new taste is coming from the food. It's not the taste of the masala. It is which is nutritious to your body, that will be the tastiest food for you. So you will take only that much which is good for the body, nutritious for the body, and only quantity also only that much which will be helping your body to remain sattvic and proper. So Lagvashi doesn't mean that you will take only less food. You should have enough food also, but it is not guided by the greed or taste or anything. It should be guided. Taste is there, but a different kind of a taste. It should be guided by our natural sensitivity, which is good and how much is good. Yatava kaya manasaha. That means vachana, sharira and manas. Mind, body and words should be under your watch, under your care. That you should not be indulgent about anything. These are all part of the Kevala Jnana Nishtha, the Nishtha Jnanasya Yapara. That means he still needs this. हो गया सोचना नहीं है, होना बहुत बाकी है. ध्यान योग परो नित्यम. Always you will be dhyana yoga paraha. Para means that considering dhyana yoga to be the supreme. Because the mind is always given to that. Whenever you have time, automatically the mind will go into meditative silence. You don't have to do dhyana. You become that you are considering. What you are considering to be supreme? The knowledge of what? Your own identity. So, whatever you do, always the buddhi, the mind is focused on that. So when you sit for dhyana, automatically it will become, you will get into meditative silence. Vairagyam samupashritaha. Samupashrita means samyak upashritaha. That means taking refuge in vairagya. Now, this dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupasthita. I said that in our sadhana there are two things. Generally it is said abhyasa and vairagya. Here the abhyasa is dhyana yoga paro nityam and vairagya. Now the two are actually, one is to increase the centripetal force, another is to reduce the centrifugal force. Dhyana yoga paro nityam means we are trying to focus on the Atma. That means always we are collecting ourselves and focusing on the inmost level. That is generating the centripetal force. And Vairagya, what is it doing? Vairagya is loosening our attraction, repulsion towards the world objects. That is, our mind is always pulled outward. The centrifugal force is generated by our raga dvesha, by our attraction and repulsion towards the object. So Vairagya will reduce that pull. You will loosen those attraction and repulsion. So reducing the centrifugal force by Vairagya and increasing the centripetal force by practicing Dhyana Yoga. Then comes ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham, parigraham. Ahankara. Ahankara, we generally call it egotism. That is, suppose you have done something good. Oh, I have done very well. Actually, somebody else has done, then also you will say that I have done this. When something goes wrong, say he has done it. Is it not? Generally, that is the ahankara, that we don't see the truth or the things as they are. Ahankara is the superposition of that egotism on whatever we are doing and acting with, which is related to I, that ego. Balam. Now, balam means generally Shakti, means strength, but here it is not so. Here, balam means in the strength which comes from kama, raga, etc. That means from desire and partial vision and all. So, you can say it is violence will be the correct translation perhaps. That is, we show the power out of dadagiri karte hai na. Dadagiri, you say that gang leader and all. Somebody is honest, you want to kill him also because he is not listening to you. So that is the balam, that it is the strength which comes from wrong tendencies, kama, raga, etc. Darpam. Darpam is arrogance. That is, it gets, suppose somebody is very happy about doing something and all these are related to ahankara, ego. But somebody has become very happy by doing something, it gets converted into darpa, that he becomes proud about it. He prides in it. Pride in something that he has done also. So darpam means arrogance. Kamam, that you know, desire. Krodham. When kama is hindered and you don't know what to do, then it becomes krodha. So kama and krodha are related. Parigraham, that means accepting something, taking something. That means still having the feeling of possessiveness, that I want this, I want that possession. The parigraha means that. We don't want anything from anywhere. That kind of a feeling is without the parigraham. Vimuchya nirmamah shanto brahmabhuyaya kalpate. So there are some more. All these earlier ones, that is ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham, parigraham, vimuchya. This is one sentence. Ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham, parigraham, vimuchya. That means renouncing all that, doing away, removing all that. What will you become? Nirmamaha, free of I-ness and mindness. Mama means mine. Nirmama means that free of mindness. The first portion, ahankara, means I-ness. And nirmama means not the mindness. Mama means mindness. We call it mamatva also. Swamiji says that those who come to the ashram, they should develop some mamatva. Because they don't have the mamatva, so they don't look after anything in the ashram. Ashram hai to usko to maintain karna hai na. Mamatva nahi rehne se koi nahi karta hai. Nobody does it from the jnana level. That doesn't need mamatva. You have to look after where around you. You cannot look after the whole world. But because we don't have mamatva for the objects and for the system or for anything, we are not careful about things. So, before having the knowledge, we become nirmama. So, that is also troublesome. Shantaha. Vimuchya, all these things, vimuchya, become nirmamaha, free of mindness, and shantaha, that means peaceful in mind. If all these things go, then naturally he will automatically be peaceful. Automatically peace will dawn. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He becomes deserving, he becomes fit for becoming Brahman or attaining Brahman. So in saying that, I will tell you in samasa, in essence or in brief, where lies the nishtha jnanasya yapara. So that he has discussed in these 3 shlokas, that Jnana Nishtha means all these things. It is not just reading the Upanishads or Vedas and knowing what is Atma and what is Brahman. Not that. Nishtha is coming as all the virtues, all these things, which is making, in a nutshell, it is all whatever is making us constricted, small, they have to go. We have to become liberal, we have to become non-selfish, we have to become all-embracing, We have to generate universal love, universal sympathy, feeling, everything. Basically, it is that everywhere. So whether you focus on what is making us constricted or you focus on what will make us expanded, it's better to focus on the good things. Fill your mind with good things, liberal things, noble things. Automatically, we don't have to focus on these things. They will automatically go. It is only to point out that these have to go. But as a pursuit, it is always better not to focus on these things. You know it, that's all. But as a pursuit, we should try to fill us with the good qualities, liberal qualities, noble qualities. Just as I said that water is dirty, rather than trying to filter the water, pour good water, pure water, it will become pure. Then comes 54th verse. Brahmabhuta prasannatma.
Brahmabhuta prasannatma.
Acha, Mala, read these verses from 57 to 50 to 53. All of you together. 50 to 53.
Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathaapnoti nibodha me samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya para buddhya vishuddhaya yukto dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayam styaktva ragadveshau vyudasya cha vivikta sevi laghvashi yatava kayamanasaha dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimuchya nirmamah shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Brahmabhuta prasannatma.
Brahmabhuta prasannatma.
Na shochati na kankshati.
Na shochati na kankshati.
Samah sarveshu bhuteshu.
Samah sarveshu bhuteshu.
Madbhaktim labhate param.
Madbhaktim labhate param.
See the sequence? Madbhaktim labhate param. After all this, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. He attains then, this is the bhakti. It is the jnana rupa bhakti, shuddha bhakti. You can say to extent para bhakti. That in the 7th chapter, 16th verse, he has said that Chaturvidha bhajante mam Jana Sukritinor Juna. Find out 7.16. Arto jijnasur artharthi jnani cha bharatashabha. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinor juna. Arto jijnasur artharthi jnani cha bharatashabha. That is 4 kinds of people, they worship me. What are they? Artaha. Artaha means those who are in difficulty, those who want relief from me. Jijnasu, they are curious about knowing things, etc. Curious about truth also. Artharthi, those who want some money, property or something in the objective form. The 3 are like this. Only the last one is Jnani cha bharatashrava. Jnani also worships me. Then he says, Tesham jnani nityayukta eka bhaktir vishishyate. Of the 4, the jnani is one who is always connected to me because he has already, buddhi is anchored in the soul. Eka bhaktir vishishyate. He doesn't run after all the temples. The other day we said that on Saturday that lady used to go to see all the Kali temples of Calcutta. If she misses one, then she will be very upset. Eka bhaktir vishishyate. The jnani is, he is not multi-directed. He is one-directed. He is one-pointed. Priyohi jnanino atyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. Jnani is most priya for me. I am dear to him and he is also dear to me. See, the jnani is given the highest position in bhakti. Udara sarva evaite jnani tu atmaiva me matam. Of the four, jnani is the most liberal. He is like my own soul. Because they are also the jnani is trying to get dissolved into the soul. Asthita sahi yuktatma mameva anuttamam gatim. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudevah sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. See, he says that jnani is extremely rare. So he says, Bahunam janmanam ante, somebody, he worships me through knowledge. Because generally the knowledge pursuits are extremely rare. Suppose we had here bhajan and all, you will find 500 people will come with lot khol, kattal and everything. Hare Rama, 500,000, 2,000, whatever you know. In Delhi they had told me that, आपका क्या होता है, आप PhD भाषण देते हैं, 5 भी लोग नहीं आते हैं. यहाँ लगाइए भगवती जागरण, हम 2,000 लोग को लेके आएंगे. It is true. What he says is true. Jnani is extremely rare. People who want knowledge also is extremely rare. Vasudeva sarvamiti. For the jnani, what is that? The Vasudeva is everywhere because the Atma is everywhere for him. Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. Such a saint, such a Mahatma is extremely rare. Because most of the Mahatma will be doing puja restricted in the bhakti. It is like that only. By nature it is so. The Mahatma who is a knower is extremely rare. That even Kathopanishad, those who have studied in the morning, those shlokas we have explained. Ascharyavat pashyati kashchidenam ascharyavat shrunut vadati tathaiva chanya ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti. वो तो भगवद गीता हो गया. कठोपनिषद is different. कठोपनिषद is आश्चर्यवत. आश्चर्यो वक्ता कुशलोस्य लब्धा आश्चर्यो ज्ञाता कुशलानुशिष्टः. That bhakta of that, the person explaining this is Ashcharya, is extremely rare, wonderful. Even listening to Kushalosya Labdas, जो सुनकर समझते हैं, ये भी बहुत rare है. Skillful listener. Ashcharyo jnata kushalanushishtah. A knower is still rarer. A knower who has been taught by another knower who has followed his guru. That is the whole parampara. Kushalanushishtah means who has been given the discipline, who has known remaining under the tutelage of another person. So he also will be, Kushala will be another person. So the parampara is being mentioned there. That is one who has come through a parampara undertaking the proper discipline. Such jnata is extremely rare. Anyway, whatever we wanted to say is that this is the Chaturtha. The fourth bhakta is this. Here he has already done the Karmaja Siddhi. Then he has practiced Jnana Nishtha. Then he is having the Bhakti. वो जो ज्ञान के साधना करते हैं, बोलते वो भक्ति हमें नहीं चाहिए, हम ज्ञानी हैं. वो ज्ञान नहीं है. भक्ति के बिना ज्ञान नहीं हो सकता है. Bhakti is the intensity of whatever we are doing. Are we not saying he is very devoted to his work? Workaholic. Devoted to his work. Like that, devotion is an emotional association, which means intensity of the emotional association in us. So anybody who is looking for the self, if he is intensely looking for the self with full attention, with full application, the whole one-pointed application, then he is a great bhakta. Because this emotional association is what makes the bhakti. So this is the Jnana Rupi Bhakti. Jnana Rupa or Jnana Rupi? Jnana Rupa Bhakti. Jnana Rupa Bhakti. We can call it Shuddha Bhakti also, because it has got purified by the non-desultoriness, that it has become one-pointed. So it's called Shuddha Bhakti also. And it is said that Shuddha Bhakti and Shuddha Jnana are same. Actually it is so. There is no difference between knowledge and bhakti. Because when you are intensely dedicated to knowledge, that is the Nishtha Jnanasya Para, Jnana Nishtha, Kevala Jnana Nishtha. That itself is the bhakti towards the truth. Now what happens with the, now he has gained bhakti, that Shuddha Bhakti or Jnana Nishtha Bhakti, Jnana Rupa Bhakti. Now what happens to him? Bhaktya mam abhijanati
Bhaktya mam abhijanati
yavanyaschasmi tatvatah
yavanyaschasmi tatvatah
tato mam tatvato jnatva
tato mam tatvato jnatva
vishate tadanantaram.
vishate tadanantaram.
He says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You should be attentive. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. That is this bhakti which he got from the Jnana Nishtha. That bhakti, applying that bhakti, he is knowing me. Jnana and bhakti are alternating. First, it is Karmaja Siddhi. Karmaja Siddhi is taking him to Nishtha Jnanasya Para. Now this Jnana Nishtha is giving him the bhakti. And that bhakti, by that bhakti is coming to know me, who am I and how much I am. The two are interchanging, is it not? Tattvato jnatva. He comes to know me in essence. And not only that, Yavan yaschasmi, who am I and how much am I? That means in all my coordinates, all my parameters he comes to know. It is not just knowing me as in the meditation as the Nishkriya Brahma, Nishkriya Atma, non-acting stillness of the impersonal truth. In Samadhi we are coming to know the still in the stillness of the impersonal truth. It is not only that aspect. That truth has become the world. So how he has become the entire world, that also he understands by that bhakti, that supreme bhakti. That is why he said, Tattvato jnatva. That is, Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. In essence, what I am and how much I am. So it is a knowledge of the entirety of the truth, not only in its still aspect, but in its active aspect of the world. The comprehensive, Purna knowledge. Baba named his ashram as Purna Ashrama because of that. That we are, our purpose is to have that full appreciation of the truth, not going to the cave and just retiring into the Samadhi. Then why nature has given us mind and buddhi and a body? And that is not the ultimate. That same Atma has become the whole world. So even remaining active also, we should not be deviated from the truth. Then only the knowledge is full. If in the meditation we are seeing the truth and out of the meditation we are seeing the world, then it has not happened fully. That means world is still there. That truth is becoming the world. So we should not miss the truth anywhere in the world. Even if it is war also. In the war also we should not miss the truth. Tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Then he enters me, he says. That knowing me, who am I and how much I am in all my details, all my parameters, he enters me. Vishate tadanantaram. Sarva karmanyapi sada
सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा
kurvano madvyapashrayah
कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः
matprasadat avapnoti
मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति
shashvatam padamavyayam.
शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्
Sarva karmani api sada kurvanah mat vyapashraya. See this mat vyapashraya. Vyapashraya means be apashraya. Apashraya means taking refuge. We apashraya. Vyapashraya means taking exclusive refuge. Vishesha rupena. We means Vishesha rupena. Taking exclusive refuge in me. Mad vyapashraya means taking exclusive refuge in me. Kurvanaha. Do all whatever to be done. Sarva karmani. Sada. Always do all karma taking exclusive refuge in me. Never think that I am doing, that your egoistic personality is doing something. You are being guided by me. You are in me. It is the divine who is active through your body-mind instrument. So you become an instrument of divinity then. When it is happening? After knowing tattvato jnatva. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. That is in his all aspects, then his life is becoming divinized. Whatever he is doing as an instrument of the divine, not as an egoistic personality given to likes and dislikes and according to his own preference and prejudice. His will has got merged with the divine will. Through him, the divine purpose will be served. He is, another way you can say, he is in tune with the fundamental rhythm of nature, fundamental tune of nature. He is in tune with the infinite. So whatever he does, it is nature's work. He is going on doing that as divine will. Mat prasadat avapnoti. By my prasada, by my prasada, mat prasadat avapnoti shashvatam padamavyam. He attains the eternal abode by my blessings. Up to this we will do. Tomorrow again. Tomorrow, na? Third and fourth, no? Now, this I wanted to tell you that now see, slowly he has come to surrender. Yesterday also I said that they are bringing us from initially the philosophy, then that is Sankhya, then to Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, then going through all the synthesis, that is Bhakti Yoga, etc. All have been done, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, then coming to knowledge. What is knowledge? Again, all the virtues, etc. Then coming to the Triguna Tattva. That is very important to make our sadhana practical. So that continued from 14th chapter to 18th chapter. That Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, because that is a practical sadhana. Doing that, finally here he started saying that the karma, whatever we are working, it is also designed by the three guna constitution. So 4 categories are there by the permutation combination of the 3 gunas. And each category there is a work division corresponding to. That is our svabhava or swakarma or swadharma. Now we are deviating from that because of some extraneous desire, ego, preference, prejudice, etc. But if we pursue our natural karma, whatever is our constitution, whatever we are made of, if we do it and do it without sangha, without ego, without phalechha, phalabhogecha, if we do that, then that work becomes an offering to the Lord. By pursuing such activity offered to the Lord as yajna you say, or as offered to the Lord, he becomes fit for the Jnana Nishtha, because the ego has gone, the preference prejudices have gone. So he can now take to the Jnana Nishtha, which the Jnana Sadhana people are taking right from the beginning. They are contemplating on it because they don't have the desires. That's very few people. But generally it is not denied to anybody. He says right from the beginning, the actions you don't have to renounce. But make the actions an instrument for the attaining the same goal which the Kevala Jnana Nishtha people are also, exclusive knowledge pursuers also attaining. I will take you there. saying that the whatever you pursue according to your natural tendencies, that will bring you and make you fit for the Kevala Jnana Nishtha. And pursuing that Nishtha, then you develop the real Bhakti, the Jnana Rupa Bhakti or the Shuddha Bhakti, which makes you understand me in my all aspects. Tattvataha, yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. Whatever I am in, say in meditation, in the Nischala Rupa, in the non-acting stillness, and also while I manifest the whole universe, you know me in everything. So you don't miss me anywhere anymore. It is not that you have to go to meditation every time to know me. You are, when you are interactive also, you are not interacting with the world because you are freed of raga dvesha. So you can remain active in the world, but in your mind you remain in the truth always. Saying that happens through the surrender. Now so far you are surrendering your action. Finally he presents what is the real surrender and how it can come. That we will take up next day. That is Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta, that will come later. Because before that he says that I have told you everything, now you do whatever you want. You think about it, all the jnana I have given, you think and analyze everything and do whatever you like. He had left Arjuna at that point. Then he said that no, you are my most beloved, I cannot leave you like that. I have to tell you the highest secret. What is the highest secret? The Guru comes down as the Lord comes down as the Guru before you. And you don't have to think always that am I surrendered or not. I am going to kill Bhishma. Am I doing because of my ego or I have surrendered? You do whatever I say, simply. Even if you have against feeling, you have to renounce that and do it. So thereafter he gives the message that don't tell it to everybody. Those who belittle me, don't tell it to them. Those who are dushkarma, don't tell, like that. Those verses also we will try to do the last day. Because suppose somebody belittles the knower or the Krishna here, then he will not be able to take anything from that message. To gain anything from the message, you have to have a great respect for the person who is giving you the message, otherwise it will not be there. Anasuya, you will find this word comes again and again in various places. Asuya means belittling him, that is degrading him. So if asuya is there, this knowledge will not be valuable, will not be effective. So all these things will come then, I think, last day. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranami. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranami.